Hi everyone, it's Carmen. I know it's been a really long time since I've posted a video, but I've been really busy with schoolwork. I'm actually supposed to be doing schoolwork right now. Today has been seriously so exhausting. The other night, if you're not friends with me on Facebook, you won't know this. Tuesday night, today's Thursday, so Tuesday night, Blake was Tuesday during the day, Blake was acting really strange. He was very, lethargic, but lethargic isn't really the word. He was, I didn't even know the word. He wouldn't really move. He's very weak, obviously. Throughout the morning, and I was like, that's kind of strange. So I picked him up from my mom's house when I got out of school, and I came home, laid him down for a nap, and he was so cranky. Just cried and cried and cried, which is not him at all. And so I laid him down, and he took a 4-hour nap. Normally, he takes about 2.5 hour nap, but Tuesday it was 4 hours, which was really strange. So I got him up from his nap, and he was like, he didn't even cry when he woke up. He didn't talk. He wasn't fussing. He just laid there. And after 4 hours, I was like, let me go check on him. So I went in there to check on him, and he was just laying in bed. He didn't stand up or anything, so I picked him up, and I was like, oh, it's okay. Like, he was so tired, it looked like. And I brought him out into the living room, and Ryan had just gotten home from work, and so Blake wanted Ryan, and he just laid his head on Ryan's chest and laid there for about 30 minutes. I was like, how could he possibly be tired? Because he slept for so long. And it's not like we got up really early that day or anything, so he was just really tired. And we went to the grocery store, and on the way to the grocery store, it takes us about 15 and 20 minutes to get there, to the one that we wanted to go to. So we get to the grocery store, and he had fallen asleep in the car, which was weird because he had just taken a nap, and he doesn't sleep in the car anymore. So he fell asleep, so I woke him up, and normally when he's in the shopping cart, he talks and waves to random people, and he wants to get out of the shopping cart, and he just sat there. And, like, his eyes kind of had, like, a gaze over them. So I was like, he must not be feeling good. On our way home from the grocery store, he fell asleep in the car. And he was really warm, and so we got home, and I was like, I don't think he's feeling good, so I took his temperature underneath his armpit, and it was 103.7. So that is very high. So I'm calling my mom because my mom's a nurse, and so I'm calling her to kind of ask her, what do I do? I mean, what can I do? And Ryan goes, well, why don't you check his rectal temperature? It's like, I don't know, I've only checked, like, dogs and cats, I've only checked their temperature in their rectum area. Kona, stop. Sorry, we have a puppy and she's going crazy. So Ryan was holding Blake, and I inserted it. I did a rectal temperature on Blake, and it immediately started at 102. So at 102, 103, 104, 105, and it stopped at 105.7. And I didn't even let it go till it beeped. It went 105.7, and I yanked it out, and I started crying. The first thing I did was start crying, because that is extremely high. Because I know if an adult or whatever, if we get a temperature of like 104, that's like seizure level. So I flipped out, started crying, and I was like, we need to leave. And so we went to the emergency room, and Blake was falling asleep in the car on the way there. We got there, they rushed him right in, and his temperature there was 105.1, I think it was. And before that, we took all of his clothes off. He was just wearing a diaper to try to cool him off. And so they checked his temperature. They didn't really know what to say. He wasn't vomiting. He didn't have diarrhea. He wasn't coughing. No flu-like symptoms other than his really high fever and being lethargic and everything and kind of cranky. So he just laid in the bed by himself. I mean, I laid next to him, but he just laid there, which was not Blake at all. He is 17 months old. He is a ball of fire. All he wants to do is run around and play and talk and get into stuff, and he just laid there. It was so sad. They put a little bag over his male parts to try to get a urinalysis, or to get a urine sample, and he refused to pee for like 4 hours. And he didn't want to do a catheter, so he just said, it's fine, just forget it. And he came in about a couple hours later and checked his temperature, and it was 103.8 or 9, and that was after they gave him Motrin and Tylenol. Because they wanted to do everything they could to get his fever down, because they didn't know if he was having silent seizures or what was going on. And so the doctor came in and he goes, so his temperature is not going down. This is something I kind of need to talk to you guys about. I am thinking of wanting to do a spinal tap to see if Blake has meningitis. Of course, I started crying, and he's like, if I come back in another hour and his temperature still has not gone down, we need to discuss this further. And he kind of told me exactly how the procedure works and everything, and it's probably one of the scariest moments of my life, just because you don't know what's going on, and the doctors didn't have any answers. They had no idea why he had a fever so high. He hadn't been around anyone who was sick or anything. So an hour and a half later, he came back a little later than he said he would. They checked his temperature, and it was 101.8 or 9. So it had gone down a crazy amount, and he still wasn't really doing anything, so they brought in some Jell-O and a carton of milk. Of course, Blake drank the entire thing of milk, and he had a couple spoonfuls of Jell-O. And a couple minutes later, I don't know if you guys know this, but his favorite word is gawk, like G-O-C-H, gawk. And he was laying there, and he sits up, and he goes, gawk, gawk. And I was like, Blake, my Blake is back. He has energy now. Like, this is my son. That's Blake. And so I got so excited. And the doctor came in and said, his temperature has gone down. He doesn't have any other symptoms of meningitis, so I think it's okay to go home. But if anything else happens, to come right back in. We went home. We were up every 3 to 4 hours giving him Tylenol to try to get his fever to go down. The next morning, he didn't have a fever, which was yesterday, but he had diarrhea. He had diarrhea all day long. I probably changed about 8 to 10 poopy diapers. So that was that. He